Hey everyone, my name is Haley, and today I'm gonna be giving you 5 tips to climb rank as a support. And just so I have some credibility, I am a top 50 Cloak and Dagger on Xbox, and I am a top 100 White Fox on Xbox as well. Those are all my credentials, sorry. On top of being top 100 Cloak and Dagger and top 50 White Fox, I have climbed to Grandmaster 1 every single season for the last 4 seasons. I have not hit Celestial yet. When I hit Celestial, everyone in the whole entire world will know, don't worry. Supports can literally carry the game, and it can feel very stressful when supports are being blamed 24/7. And if you're a support and you're just constantly being told you're trash, you're doing this wrong, how are you able to think? It becomes really hard to think. So here are my 5 things that helped me get to Grandmaster. And I know some of you might be in Celestial trying to get higher. This video is not for you. If you're trying to get from silver or gold or plat or diamond to GM, this video is for you. Well, you can also, as the Celestial players, take some of these tips, but I haven't hit Celestial myself. So tip number 1 is to stay alive. Your first job is to stay alive, whether that is falling back yourself while there's one person on point. Say there's one person on point and you have the decision and you have to decide if you go and help that one person on point or you fall back. You need to fall back. If you die first, your team is losing healing. So if you're dying last, that means you're last to group up, which means who knows if your team may have lost some potential healing that you could have given them. And sometimes it's better just to die with your team. There is one exception from this, is if your whole entire team is dead and it's just you and you don't have the mobility to get away, try to die, because you need to group up with your team as quickly as possible, and you spamming all your abilities trying to get away, at that point it's been so long and a time that you're missing the chance to group up with your team, because your job is to heal and be a support, so you need to group up with your team, so you want to die. Your first job as a support is to not heal everyone every second. So a good rule of thumb is heal your support first, and then heal your DPS, and then heal your tank. That is my way that I give out my healing. Like, say the whole team just got a Phoenix ult and I have to pick who to heal. I'm going to heal the other support and start patty kicking, and hopefully the other support is making sure that I'm fully healed, and then they'll start to heal the rest of the team. So that's how I heal. If you die first, your team loses healing, utility, and pressure. So at that point, your team has to fall back when you die. And if your team doesn't fall back after you die, some games you can't. You can only lead a horse to water. If your fellow support dies, and it's just you with 4 other people, it is possible to still hold the point without your fellow support, but it's going to be a lot harder. So in those situations where I'm experiencing another support that's dying a lot, I go Cloak and Dagger, because as long as I'm close to my teammates, I can automatically heal myself. So that's what I do. But no, say Cloak and Dagger is banned, be a headache. So you need to make sure that you're playing cover, don't stand in the open, and stop chasing your teammates that are overextending. So if you understand that your teammate is overextending and you have like this gut feeling that they are literally overextending and they're gonna die and no amount of healing can save them, then you need to fall back. Let them die, go back to your team, and regroup. Tip number 1 is to stay alive and die when needed. Tip number 2 is it's okay to turn off voice chat sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to turn off voice chat and just grind. Tip number 2 is to turn off voice chat. Sometimes, guys, it's okay to turn off voice chat. Sometimes voice chat can help. Sometimes the call-outs that your teammates will be giving are beneficial, and the quickest way to do that is by your voice. But sometimes it's okay to have custom chats and say, I'm being Dove help, or you ult first support. And that doesn't always mean that your teammates are going to read the chats in the chat log, and sometimes they will. It depends on the person, but there has been matches where they don't even read that. I'm pinging the Daredevil, I'm pinging the BP, and they don't care. And then I come on the mic, and then I start getting blamed for being the worst support ever. Sometimes voice chat is helpful, but sometimes it can also make you play worse, especially when people are being toxic, or you have throwers who are just non-stop talking and not even talking about the game, or not even saying anything beneficial. So don't always listen to your teammates. If people are yelling, blaming support, and being toxic, mute them. Mute them. If you don't want to leave voice chat completely, like, there's an ability to mute them. Like, mute them. You can also mute the chats. Sometimes I'll do like a little like strike system. So strike 1 is they're being rude to me and they just keep going, right? And maybe I ask them to stop. Or maybe I ask them to focus on the game. Or to lock in. And then they keep going. Then my next strike is, if they fail strike 1, then I'll mute them. And then we move on to strike 2. They're muted. And then if they're constantly typing in the chat because they realize that I muted them and I don't give a flying crap what they're saying, then guess what? I mute their chats too. And then they're talking to a wall. And it sucks for me because my username is my Twitch username, so then sometimes some toxic people will come into my chat. That's a story for another time. So that sums up tip 2. Just make sure that you're aware that you don't have to be in voice chat. You don't have. Tip number 3 is don't heal bot. Yes, healing matters. Yes, healing matters, but support is not just healing. White Fox can counter a bunch of ults. White Fox can counter Wanda, Thor, the dinosaur. Like, the list goes on. I'm sorry I had to stop in there. But like, supports can counter certain DPS's abilities, certain DPS's ult. So you just need to make sure as a support you know who you can counter, because even Invis can block Magneto's ult with just her shield, and she can block it for herself and her teammates. So being aware of what you can counter as a support is 100% what you need to know. That's a video for another time though, on like all the different support counters. Use damage. As a support, you need to be producing some type of damage. There are some rockets that will have like 900 damage, and that was because they were protecting themselves. And as a rocket, that's a different story, but every other support, you really need to try to be giving off some type of damage. As a support, you also need to make sure that you're aware of your cooldowns and you're tracking ults. So you're tracking your fellow support's ults, or you're tracking the enemy team in their ults. You're tracking the enemy team's DPS ults. You're tracking the enemy team's support ults. You can track the tank's ults, might as well. But at the end of the day, you're just one person and you can't really track everyone's ult. It is a team game. But as a support, you don't have to just be heal botting. You're not just heal botting. Sometimes having a good support can make or break the game. Sometimes producing damage on a low enemy player is way better than throwing your heals at a fully HP teammate. Tip number 4 would be to watch the other support constantly. You shouldn't be far away from the other support. Sometimes something that I do is, depending on the support that I'm playing, if I'm in Viz, that I'm a midline support, so I'm pushed up while my cloak and dagger is behind me, or there'll be rocket behind me. So if I'm White Fox, then I'm more midline, and then if I'm Luna, then I'm more hit scan, and I also have to be participating in giving out damage. But with all that being said, you have to also be watching your other support. Depending on who the other support is that you're playing with, you need to also understand what ult, oh my gosh, how do I say that? Depending on your other support, you need to also be aware of what ult they're countering and also what ult you're countering. So if there's a Star-Lord and I'm in Viz, I know that I'm going to purposely wait until my ult counters Star-Lord's ult. And then if I have a White Fox, the White Fox might wait until the Dino ults, because White Fox can almost counter the damage that the Dino produces. So with an Invis and a White Fox, you would need to know which ults counter who. You also don't want to waste your abilities as a support, so that's why you need to watch what your other support is healing. So if your other support is helping heal the DPS maybe more than you are, and you're helping put more of your abilities and your heals towards the tank, and then all of a sudden you start getting dove, and then everything needs to be erased. Everything that you were just working on needs to be erased, and you need to refocus your attention to the other support. You need to peel for each other. You need to peel for each other and be aware of when your other support is also getting dove. If you aren't aware of when your other support is getting dove, then you're the problem. A good support duo can carry any match because they're countering everything. They're constantly talking to each other and they're constantly countering everything. Unless they're getting dove. If both supports are getting dove constantly and your teammates just aren't listening, there's not much that you can do at that point, because if they're not peeling for both of your support, you and your support are patty kicking each other. It's a team issue at that point. It's a team communication issue, and if your team isn't properly communicating with you, or they're being toxic and they're not even accepting what you're saying, then it can be kind of frustrating, and sometimes it's GG next. The last and final tip I have for you is to stop listening to random creators and random teammates. Like, you should be taking everything that I'm saying and having your own opinion on it. You shouldn't be taking what I'm saying literally. Just because I'm saying that a good support duo can carry a whole entire match does not mean that's possible in every case. The last and final tip I have for you guys is to stop listening to bad teammates. Just because your teammates are telling you what to do doesn't mean that that's the right thing to do. Listening to a bad teammate can cause you to do something that maybe wasn't the wisest decision, or something that you naturally wouldn't have done in the first place. And if you give your teammates that power to control your gameplay, how do you know that they're giving you the right things to do? There's no reason that you should be listening to your teammate, especially if you don't know them. Like, sometimes your teammates can be giving good advice or giving good call outs, but if they're like telling you who to counter your ult with, you don't have to listen to them. You can listen to what they're saying and consider it. You don't have to do it. If somebody told me, wait, Invis, keep your ult for a Star-Lord ult, but then I had a Luna who was gonna get her ult faster, I don't know. I'm just making something up. The Luna could ult instead of me. It just depends. Like, say for some reason I had to ult for a different reason, and then Luna has her ult. Now Luna can ult for the Star-Lord ult. And this is just a really hypothetical scenario. But the moral of the story is, don't listen to your teammates all the time. Take what they're saying. This is my 5 basic tips on how to improve your gameplay as a support in Marvel Rivals. Stay alive, protect your peace, and remember that a support is a lot more powerful than people give it credit for. Comment your favorite support, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me continue to make videos like this.